We've been getting a lot of correspondence with respect to what will happen over the next 9 years with respect to, I'm not sure it's increased seismic risk, but certainly there is always seismic risk given the proximity to multiple faults, as well as ongoing damage to marine life, and wanted to just hear your comments about those two particular issues.
Well, let me address the seismic risk first. Let me just say unequivocally, we believe that Diablo Canyon is seismically safe. It's probably the most studied facility from a seismic point of view in the country. Some people would even argue maybe in the world. And all the analysis, all the data that's been collected, all of the work, a lot of it after Fukushima, directed to us by the NRC, all of it points to Diablo Canyon being safe, being seismically safe, and being able to handle the seismic conditions in and around the plant. This is an issue that will never end. We'll continue to learn, we'll continue to review, we'll continue to apply best lessons learned. But we've had an independent safety council, an independent peer review, look at all the results, and they have also, again, confirmed what we've always also found, that the plant is safe, continues to be safe, and of course with the license extension not being called for, having the plant end at 2024, 2025, a big part of the seismic risk will end at that point. But we feel really good about where we stand, the way the plant was designed and the way it was built to withstand the seismic issues around it.
Okay, and what about, excuse me, what about sea level rise?
On the sea level, you know, the State Water Board has been obviously very focused on once-through cooling, and they've put together a requirements for all of the facilities in California, including Diablo Canyon. We are compliant with the state requirements for once-through cooling, and of course the ultimate requirement in terms of being consistent with their objectives is the actual decision not to relicense. So we feel that we are in compliance, and not relicensing will end once-through cooling altogether at Diablo Canyon in 2025.
Great, okay. I appreciate also the attention to the community of San Luis Obispo. Obviously, there will be impacts. Are there provisions on top of the property tax commitment that will be under discussion going forward?
Absolutely. We look at the tax sort of protection, if you will, over the next 9 years as a beginning. We think it's the right thing. It gives the San Luis Obispo community an opportunity to plan for, again, a future without Diablo. We also have made a commitment to continue our emergency planning, our emergency preparedness activities with San Luis Obispo. We're also going to continue our charitable contributions, our corporate citizenship in and around. But I also want to say that by having the employees have certainty, having them be still living and working in San Luis Obispo, it continues to drive the economic engine of that community. And let's not forget the decommissioning work. The decommissioning work will be a massive construction project, and it'll last anywhere between 10 and 20 years. That also will provide some certainty to the community in terms of knowing that it has a strong partner in PG&E. One last thing that I'd like to mention is the decommissioning process. It will take 2 to 3 years to come up with a comprehensive decommissioning plan. As part of that plan, one of the things that we'll have to do is figure out what to do with this amazing site, this beautiful, majestic site. And we will be inviting San Luis Obispo and other community stakeholders for their thoughts to ultimately come up with the best path forward for this amazing property.
And on that point, any thoughts right now about what will happen to the fuel rods that are currently stored on site?
Well, the fuel rods, once that they're spent and that they've been used by the nuclear reactor, they're stored in a cooling pool for a period of time, normally around 7 years. That allows the temperature to be reduced, and then they're transferred to a dry cast storage facility that's on site. Our dry cast storage facility on site is ample enough, has sufficient capacity to be able to take on all of the spent fuel rods that have been used so far and that will be used between now and the end of 25. They'll be safely stored on site until the federal government ultimately delivers on its promise to have a long-term repository for spent fuel for all nuclear reactors across the country.
Great, thank you.